the show as well from all the people in the audience. I want to hear your success stories. I did what you told me, Frank, and I actually have a couple of people coming over I haven't seen in 5 to 7 years. Everybody's really excited. I bought a whole bunch of hot dogs and hamburgers. Nitrates be damned, and we are going to have one hell of a ball. We're going to light some citronella candles. We're going to light some sparklers. The kids are coming by. I bought a couple of boxes of sparklers, and it's going to be great. The smell of sulfur is going to be in the air, and it's just all is going to be right with the world for a few hours. Damn it. That's all I want to hear about. Anyway, welcome to the show. It's June 20th, 2025. We got some good stuff to do tonight. It's just me, just you. Matt is in the tattoo parlor right now. He said he's getting, I already told you, he's touching up the George Washington. I think he said that he's getting the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse on there. So I don't know why he covered up the live free or die or join or die snake. I don't know why he covered that up. That was pretty cool. But he must have some kind of a vision, and he's going for it. So next time he's in, I'm sure we'll know all about it. As for tonight, it's gonna be you. It's gonna be me. I've got plenty of things to have you guys call in on. Got a lot of Friday thoughts. It was a bittersweet day. A little bit more bitter than sweet, to be honest. But I just want to throw some things out there in your lap, and we'll see what comes back in the second half. Got time for calls as well as we do in the first half, and then I also have a bunch of reels that we got to watch together. It's going to be fun tonight because I got a few that I thought would be funny to get into a compilation, but also now I've been getting reels sent to me from people, so I try not to watch them all the way through. I try to get like an understanding of what's in it, and we just watch it together. I think that'd be a nice little aspect of our reel reviews, of our joy scrolling. So that's what we have tonight. First things up, Unusual Whales on Twitter says a 5.2 magnitude earthquake has struck Iran, as per the BBC. My question is, where is the USS Nitz? Where's the Nitz? Not the Nimitz, the Nitz, Nitze. That is the vessel that Brooks Agnew was talking about with us, where whenever that thing parks in one of your ports, watch out. That's what we're talking. That's the one that has the seismic weapons on it. Now, I don't know. People say that this is a very I don't know. The whole area is like prime for seismic shifts and fault lines and all that stuff. So who knows? But that's the first thing I thought to myself. Where's the nits? Here's a little bit. I got a couple of voicemails that came in. This one is from Javi in Houston, and it had a little bit to do with Iran. So I said, you know what? I'm going to tie it with my thoughts about the earthquake. Listen to what Javi has to say about this week, and I think this is interesting.
Things are working in our favor.
Oh, hold on. Let's get back here and do it again. Here you go.
Hey, Frank, Javi in Houston. I actually spoke earlier today with a woman who I grew up with, who is the vice president of Knickerbauer. I don't remember the name of the law firm, LLC. It was in WikiLeaks. She was like a major Democrat hitter. But anyways, she was telling me people are going out of their way to keep Bannon and JD and Chelsea kind of away from him because they're trying to get them
away from him, meaning Trump,
to strike fucking Iran. So those things are kind of not forming like Voltron for them right now. JD and Tulsi are back in his ear, and then more importantly, he had lunch finally with Bannon. So hopefully those things are working in our favor, and we're not gonna fucking continue this horse shit. But it is what it is, brother. They're not listening to nobody anyway. So God bless y'all, man. Love y'all. Love the show.
So that's Javi in Houston. And Javi says that he has a source saying that the war hawks that we all have grown to hate with every fiber of our being have tried to keep people like Tulsi Gabbard, J.D. Vance, who's the vice president, and Steve Bannon far away from Trump so that they could keep those, I don't know, I wouldn't, a little bit more, I don't know. Interesting story if that's true. Who knows? Let's see what can confirm that. But thank you, Javi. I hope so. I hope something breaks in our favor, breaks toward peace. I remember when they're trying to get Trump to strike Iran in 2018, 19 or something like that. There was an unmanned aerial something, a drone, something went down. And there was John Bolton trying like hell. Around the same time, he was trying to get us to get into a fist fight with Venezuela as well. But that didn't happen. Talk about delayed gratification. So hopefully we can continue to allow the mustache men like John Bolton keep their balls blue. Excuse the expression. Speaking of balls, even though these were never blue, Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs. Did you hear this latest thing? Listen to this latest thing that came out in the New York Post. Puff Daddy did, P. Diddy, kept precious baby oil stash in apparent humidity-controlled storage. New evidence pics from inside of his L.A. mansion reveal. You see that there? That is a cigar humidor. And I guess this was like the top of the line baby oil. Like, what the hell? This is a real evidence picture. My precious baby oil. This is the precious stuff right here. What is that? Himalayan rock? What is that? Coffee body? Organic coconut? What the hell is that? Organic coconut oil. Himalayan rock salt. What's that in the back? Are those Depends? Are those feminine napkins? I don't know. Very strange. So, I mean, I guess I'm not surprised that he has a special supply of baby oil, but that's what they are alleging. Moving on to that, something that concerns all of us bald men. Is it possible that we might be getting closer to a cure for baldness? I don't even want it anymore. 100% of male mice regrew fur with new treatment. Okay? They said that what they essentially put together they used combination of fat tissue-derived stem cells and the energy molecule ATP to reverse hair loss in mice with shocking results. I told that to Jay Gulinello, and because he wanted to know what it was. Was it a steroid? Was it something like that? And when I told him it was fat tissue-derived stem cells and ATP, he said, And then he said, well, one day they're gonna figure it out. I said, yeah, well, they've been wasting their sweet ass time. Wasting their sweet ass time. They're letting too much time for all these wig makers to come in and clean up shop. They're just mopping up with all of the money that could have gone to fixing this. But then again, everybody I've ever heard in my life who has ever gone on like the finasteride or something like that, they're always like, well, you have to balance out whether or not it's going to make your libido disappear or something else. There's always a sexual side effect. Like, keep your hair. I don't give a shit. Keep your hair, please. But thankfully, it's not all of you. So if you had success with it, then congratulations. Okay, so I have two stories over here that was sent to me. I forgot who it was, but they're from the West Kentucky Star. And I have to go back first to December 9th of 2024. Hi-Ho Silver, Murray man, arrested after a mule chase. There he is. He looks very happy with himself, satisfied. A Murray man was arrested Monday after fleeing police on a mule, his second such arrest in 3 days. On Saturday night, Murray police were called to an alcohol establishment where 39-year-old, that guy's 39? Damn. I was 39 in December of 2024. Jonathan Mason had been asked to leave but refused. Mason was outside sitting on a mule when officers arrived. Officers asked Mason to stop, but he reportedly refused. So that's when they tried to place him under arrest, and that's when he whipped the mule and went off down the road, and that's it. He dusted them until he couldn't. Well, guess what? On June 10th, 2025, the same guy who might be 40 at this point, he's smiling, but he has a new sore on his face. He's been arrested again. Murray's Mule Man, they call him, arrested again after releasing a raccoon into a business. This guy's a problem. A Murray man was arrested and charged with assault and resisting arrest after releasing a raccoon into a business. Here's my thing. If he continues to do things like this that are kind of funny, but it makes him a nuisance, it's disrupting, it's harassment, whatever, like, would he eventually, how big would the sentence be? Like, let's say he gets out. They give him, I don't know how long they give him. Maybe they give him a couple of months. Maybe because whatever the harassment charge brings. But ultimately, he's not trying to harm anybody, but he does things like this. Like he drops off a raccoon into, like, is there ever a point where he can continue to violate social norms and local ordinances like this and get like 50 years because of raccoon pranks? Because could he ever get a gigantic sentence like that? For, like, let's say he actually commits to this raccoon prank. Like, next time he has a chance, he is free and he's out on the streets, he's going to get a raccoon and he's going to put it into this barber shop. Come hell or high water, it's going to happen. He doesn't want anybody to get hurt, but he just wants everybody to freak out a little bit. And he wants the raccoon to freak out too. I don't know. I mean, I don't want him to do it to me in my business, but at the same time, what do? He has to stop. But are you really going to give him 25, 50 years because of the raccoon prank that he refuses? I don't know. Maybe you have to just exile him. Maybe you have to exile him. Maybe exile is what it is. I guess there's restraining orders. If you violate restraining orders, I don't know. It's just crazy. So here he was arrested, put into the business. Murray police got the call on Friday night just before 9:20 p.m. said that a man turned the raccoon loose and then took off. With a description of the individual in his vehicle, police located 40-year-old. He's turned 40. So his birthday was sometime between December 9th and June 10th. Jonathan Mason of Murray. If anybody knows Jonathan Mason of Murray and you think that he would like to call into this show, I want to see how he's ticking. Like, what is this about? That's what I want to know. So if anybody knows this guy, please let me know. And also, one last announcement before the work weekends. Well, we have tomorrow night, but still, we're putting together the July newsletter. Next week, it's going to be assembled, and we are looking for still all sorts of audience submissions. You go to the photo submissions portion on the Quite Frankly forum. It's right there, pinned to the top. Get it. A lot of you have already sent in amazing stuff. We want pictures with captions, family road trips, vacations, traditions. Tell us what's going on in your home garden. Perhaps you're a mule man yourself and you want to document the release of a wild animal into a local donut shop. Whatever the hell it is, we want submissions of all kinds for the July newsletter, because after July, we are going to a monthly bulletin instead of a quarterly bulletin instead of a monthly. So get in on the last monthly edition. That would be fantastic. All right, with that, let's get this one started. It's Friday. I hope you're having a good time already. And away we go.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up. Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1. And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back.
Does anybody else want to stay?
whatever the hell it wasn't too close, but everybody's off doing their thing. I can just bunch of random stuff. First of all, the chorus to Master of Puppets by Metallica. Before I even heard the song played, all I knew was Joey. For some reason, he was obsessed with it in like 4th grade or something like that. He just kept saying Master of Puppets is pulling your strings over and over again. And in really bad timing. I didn't know what it was. I didn't even know it was a song. So the first time I heard it, I said, oh, that's what Joey was singing. And then, of course, Metallica. Went to my first nightclub with Joey. That was funny. It's me, my buddy KJ, Joey. We were very underage, but we knew the bouncer. At least Joey knew the bouncer. He was the older brother of our friend John, who's also sadly dead as well. And when we got there, our bouncer friend, Joey's bouncer connect, completely ignored him. So I don't know how we got in, to be honest, but we were not given any special treatment. That was funny. Coming home later on that night was funny too. We crashed at Joey's house, and for some reason, that's when I realized that he really loved the movie Coyote Ugly. It's like 2:30 in the morning or something like that. We had to work at the pharmacy a couple hours later. All three of us, me, KJ, and Joey. And he put on Coyote Ugly to fall asleep. So I watched the whole damn thing. And then I brought that up with a couple of friends I saw today. They said, oh, gosh, I must have watched that damn movie with him. I don't know why he liked it so much. So that was funny to put together, Coyote Ugly. Joey was also one of the 2 kids in my life that I knew that went to first go on Accutane. Boy, did you ever have a friend that went on Accutane during their puberty years and they were fighting acne and all that stuff? Dear Lord. Actually, I had 2 friends. Joey was one of them. Accutane. My gosh, lips always bleeding because they're so dry. I was so happy for them when they finally got off of that. That was like a nuclear bomb, Accutane. Anybody out there go on Accutane? Holy hell. Anyway, I should just say, as this is my little diary section here, that Joey's mind was a brilliant machine. A brilliant machine. He was incredibly intelligent. The type that, and I'm sure you all have people in your lives that you know that are like this, that could ace tests, exams, whatever the hell it was, finals, midterms, ace them without ever really studying. Some people will just come out, they're just born into the world preloaded with advanced abilities to process things logically, mathematically, whatever the hell it is. That was Joey for sure. But I'll tell you one story. There was a lot of galaxy brains in my class. Okay, I'll tell you, in 8th grade, we're just about to all graduate in 8th grade and go into high school. And part of the goodbye was there was an 8th grade Jeopardy. There was Jeopardy. And they played Jeopardy in front of an assembly of kids, probably like the upperclassmen that we had over there. And I this might actually have been 7th grade. I don't know. Either way, everybody was quizzed to see who was going to be the final contestants to go up in front of the whole school and play Jeopardy against each other. There might have been some sort of a prize. Maybe it was $25. I don't know because it didn't matter. I won somehow. It was me. It ended up being, I had won a seat on Jeopardy out of 4 people because I excelled in things like music, the cultural references, things like that. But I was up there. It was me and 3 of our galaxy brain friends. And there was more than just 3, but it was Joey. It was my longtime girlfriend, Rachel, and another boy, Michael. Okay, they all went off to do really incredible things academically and all that. But it was the 3 of them, and then it was me up there in front of, several classes and all that stuff. And anyway, I feel like I'm getting my ass handed to me. I really do in this game. I felt like I'm lagging behind and all that stuff. I'm getting some stuff in there. I'm staying competitive, but I said, "There's no way I'm gonna win this." But I stayed close enough in the score so that when it came down to the last questions, like Final Jeopardy, where everything gets doubled or something like that, I wagered 0. And the other 3 went all in to try to outdo each other, because they thought, okay, well, if anybody's going to win, it's going to be one of us 3. And the question came down to, I forget what the question even was, but it was the answer was, it was A Few Good Men, the movie, A Few Good Men, Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, Jack Nicholson. And I think it probably had something to do with the famous line, "You can't handle the truth," or something like that. They didn't know that shit. That's me. So I immediately, boom, I think they might have made it a little bit more like a combination of Jeopardy and Family Feud, where there was almost like, if you can hit the buzzer if you go further. I don't know. They all have buzzers. But anyway, they did not know. And I put it down, A Few Good Men. All 3 of them got wrong, lost all their money. And there I was. I got shit. I wagered nothing. And Joey and Rachel and Michael splattered against the wall, all guessed it wrong. I never let any of them live it down, too. I don't even know what the hell I won, because again, the prize didn't matter. It didn't matter. But that was a great accomplishment for me, just because of who I was up against. But I don't know. Joey and I, we worked at that pharmacy, like I said, all those years that I was there, throughout high school and a little bit into college, and we were just very close, and I had a great time. We all had a great time. If he thought he was right about something, he would lock in like a pit bull's jaws, and that created some fun times. But if you ever needed help figuring something out, man, he always made time. Came to a lot of people's aid, and his father's eulogy today really broke me up a bit, quite a bit. So, and shit like this just shakes me to the bone too. I know it does for you guys too. It's a lot easier to say goodbye to grandparents, to great grandparents. Today's his 40th birthday. And when I try to empathize and put myself in that position with the prospect of being 39 years old and still having all of your hopes and dreams for the future still ahead of you, and then suddenly with one trip to the doctor's office, you have it all reduced to a time frame of a few short months before you say goodbye. It's very hard for me to think about what he may have been going through over the course of the last 6 months. Very hard for me. And in that way, I'm just glad that the only memories of him that will survive with me are from the golden years of our youth. So anyway, buon anima. And yeah, it's one of those weeks. Really is. I do want to do something with you guys, though. Moving on from that, I do want to bring up a little bit more about something we were talking about last night. We had the whole thing about fantasy and reality. Of course, this had a lot to do with it. I told Jay I was really dreading today because of that. And of course, this is some of those things that really make the news headlines seem so stupid. I don't care about. How can you care about anybody's cause or anything? Don't care. Sometimes you can't care. You just can't find the will to care when something like this happens. It completely shifts your priorities. So I said, how can we have a little bit of fun tonight? And especially when we talk about leaving messages for the future and whatever it is. I said time capsule. Last night I mentioned that listening to old episodes of talk radio programs from decades ago were really interesting exercises for me as a listener, just because they're essentially they have time capsule value. So I said, how can I take a little bit of time capsule theme and bring it into tonight? Well, here's what we're going to do. It's 7:30. And I want to start taking calls from you. And here is the theme. Time capsule messages. All right? In the first half, I want to get as many as I can from you guys in the next half hour. And into the second half, we're going to watch some videos in the second half, have some fun with that. It's Friday after all. We have another night of broadcasting tomorrow night with my father and my cousin, hopefully my brother, hopefully a hookah, and a bunch of good music. But for tonight, I want you to leave me a time capsule message. Call in And I want you to act as if you are leaving a voice note. Some of you actually left a voicemail, but leave a voicemail for people 100 years from now that may find this episode somewhere. Who the hell knows how this entire archive of Quite Frankly was preserved? What race of alien beings are studying it? Whatever the hell is going on. But tonight, I want you to leave a message for people 100 years in the future and explain something about life today that they would actually be absolutely confused by. Like why we love memes, or what TikTok was, or I don't know. This could be funny. As I said before, this could be serious. It could be totally unhinged, but call in and explain something. Explain something to people 100 years ago and tell them, hell, listen, this is what was going on over here. You have to understand, this is the truth about it. I want to see what you guys can come up with. 914-200-0269. Pull anything out. I know you guys can do it. Here's the first one up. It's from Gino. Let's see what Gino has to say about this.
Francis, this is Gino. I want to tell people 100 years from now, things really went off the rails when people in charge started enforcing the fact that you could cut off your balls and be a woman. And also, believe it or not, New York had a beaver for a governor. Go Yanks.
That's true. 100 years from, if you're listening to us 100 years from now, this might be completely outlandish. You're not going to believe it. But they put a beaver in charge of the state of New York. That's right. They'll tell you Kathy Hochul was the first woman and it was such a historic event. Look deeper into it. She was the first ever beaver. And this is how things have gone. I'll give you another one while you guys call in. Because if you don't call in, the bid is over. And then we just go to an early break. And then we go to our reels. And then we end the show early. I don't give a fuck. It's Friday, after all. Here it goes. The first one up. I mean, here's another one for you. I saw this today. 100 years ago. 100 years forward. What you're seeing on the screen right now. What you're seeing on the screen right now, I don't even know how the hell we're going to be doing this. Okay, Hank Johnson. He is a House representative, I believe, from a district in Georgia. And this came out, I think, today because it started going around. He is standing inside of an office or an interrogation room or something. It looks very, very poorly decorated. But he had somebody put an American flag behind him, so it smacks of patriotism, I think. And he's holding a electric guitar, and he's about to sing us a little ditty. Okay? Now, I'm going to play it for you, and then I'm going to tell you what my message for audiences 100 years later is going to be.
I'm compelled with a new guitar and with some thoughts about that old song, Hey Joe, to give some commentary on where we are now. Hey, Trump, where you going with that gun in your hand? Hey, Trump, where you going with that gun in your hand?
I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going because for some reason, he also chose to put out an extremely long version of him doing this to himself and everybody else.
I'm going down the street and shoot down democracy. You know I want to be a king someday. I'm going down and shoot democracy down. You know I want to be the king someday.
think it's over? Nope. It's not over yet.
Hey, Donald Trump. We won't let you take our democracy down. Take it down to the ground. Hey, Trump. We won't let you take our democracy down. Burn it down to the ground.
I just said we have to embrace the suck. Just. Okay, well, there's only 10 seconds left. My message to people 100 years ago. In 2025, by the year 2025, several members of Congress were severely disabled. Severely disabled, and this was seen as a progressive development in society. We're talking severe disabilities. Okay? Not only is this so incredible, cringe, that's cliche. It's a cliche to say, oh, it's a cringe. This is so bizarre, especially because it's so long. Do you know how much time this person spent practicing this? Okay? Think about this. Because obviously he has no hand-eye coordination. He's disabled. He's never really had much up here, but obviously it does not translate into physical action as well. There's nothing there. And I don't say, hey, listen, you don't have to be Randy Rhoads to pick up an instrument and just try to do something with yourself. It's nice. It's therapeutic. You're learning something, some good neurogenesis up there, your new neural pathways. Just give yourself a challenge. So in his private time, then whatever. But you have to understand really what's on display here. It's not 2 minutes of him picking up the guitar out of nothing. He's bad. He's not a virtuoso. Do you know how much practice it took for him to get to be able to do this badly? And then the question is, what should he have been doing with the 6 figures that he is paid? Okay. I mean, this is it. He gets every 2 years, he can just write in. This is what I do now. In my district in Georgia, this is my job. What do they get paid? Nearly $200,000 now? How much time did he spend practicing this? Absolutely incredible. 757, you're on the air. Who's this?
This is Ken McNeil. Frank, how you doing?
Ken, it's good to hear from you. How's everything?
It's okay. My condolences about your friend Joey. You knew what I went through, and my wife with our Natalie. So,
absolutely.
But anyway, I wanted to tell. I got to respond to that guy playing the guitar, man. I have had homeless guys come in and sit in that played guitar more in tune and better blues than that guy. That was just.
Ken, listen, you are. This is part of your life, music, and you have to. So just tell everybody at home, I'm not bullshitting here. Just to see how these bad 2 minutes, how much practice for a person that you can see of his physical capabilities. How much practice did it take for him to do this 2 minutes?
Oh, I think maybe 3 minutes at most practice. He's probably been playing for 3 minutes. He might have had a guitar.
No way. No. I'm on the complete.
You think he worked on it for like an hour?
No, I think that this took weeks. I'm on the opposite side. I'm on the opposite side of what you say. I think that it took him weeks of practice.
Oh my gosh. I know what you're saying. Yeah, I get it. I was going like, he didn't prepare. Obviously he's awful.
Oh no.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. He could have prepared for a year for all we know, but it's, my goodness, when I think of that stuff, you know what I tell someone, 100 years from now, there will be a lot of people that never went into music or acting or anything, and they just decided after they retired or they tried something different, and then they bought a bunch of equipment and they thought they could really do it. Hey, I'm going to get the band back together, and they suck. And they're awful, and they try and pawn it off like they know what they're doing, and that's kind of what that guy is. I mean, there's a million of those guys. They come out to our gigs every night, Yeah, I used to play with Leonard Skinner. I was in a tribute, whatever,
I know. You know what the sad thing is, Ken? There's a lot of people out there who really play well, that will do anything for an audience, and to think that all Hank Johnson has to do is dribble all over himself, and he can, and by way of his profession being, just being so public, he's going to get people to listen to him way more than some really great local bands have ever dreamed of. So,
I know.
It's whatever.
There's a lot of diamonds in the rough in the music that they play like wizards, and they sing like birds, and no one ever knows who they are, and that's always one of the sad things. But that's showbiz. But I tell you what, that kind of made my day.
I'm glad. And I'm happy you called. Thank you so much, Ken.
Yeah, I love you, Frank. God bless you and your family.
Same thing to you. Same thing to you. Then God bless everyone. Oh yeah, that was the solo. That was the solo again. Wow, did the slide, little hammer-on action there. I know the lingo. I know. I'm just a dumb drummer, but I know the lingo. Here's one from Puffy J. You're still more than welcome to call in and give us your 100-year message, time capsule message to people in the future.
Life there in the future is better than like got life.
What just happened?
Hey man, I was instructed to leave a message for folks about 100 years in the future. Well, I'll tell you what, if there's one thing you ought to know about 2025, according to Puffy J, it's that there's a lot of people here in our time that are what you call real gay. All right, they do stupid things, they think stupid things, or they pretend to think stupid things to get stupid people to agree with them.
Oh.
And I tell you what, it's really quite a burden on the individual who places a high value on truth. Now, that being said, I hope that y'all people in the future still have nature to fall back on. And I'm hoping that the stupid people now don't ruin that as well. All right. But when times get tough out there in the future, right, try to reconnect with nature, folks. Right. There's always a tremendous amount of joy and beauty in nature. And I find that when the workaday world's got old Puffy J down, I just retreat back to nature, and them old batteries get recharged. That is assuming y'all got batteries in the future. I ain't going to take time to explain that to you, but that's about the truth of it. Anyway, that's all Puffy J's got for you folks. I hope life there in the future is better than like got life right here in 2025. All right, God bless now.
There you go. That's a good message right there. I hope that they don't ruin the great outdoors altogether. That would be a. There you go. Okay, Hot Legs, you're on the air. Do you have a message for 100 people, for people 100 years down the line, to explain something in particular?
Yeah, sorry for interrupting you. My message for 100 years from now would be that back in 2025, we still had something called Boy Scouts of America that turned into Scouting America. And in the summer, we would go to camp with hundreds and hundreds of little kids and do things like archery and shooting sports and water games. And we would pledge allegiance to the flag every morning. And we would have flag ceremonies every night. And people got along, and they got dirty and messy and bitten by bugs and poison ivy. And we loved each other.
It sounds great. Great. And hold on now, Hot Legs, before you go, can you take, I know this is on the spot here, but is there anything that we're living through right now that we have become, maybe we've become used to it in a begrudging sense because we just had to deal with it? But like what would you say to people 100 years from now to explain a certain thing that they may see expressing itself in our society that they would not have an easy way of getting explanation? Would it be like, for example, people 100 years from now looking back at the masks, or people walking around with the big bubble the boy in a bubble apparatuses that they made during 2020, or people that walked around with the 6-foot circumference hula hoops to make sure that nobody touched each other, or those strange COVID garbage bag hugging devices that people made so they can hug their grandparents through a sheet of plastic. I mean, things like that, I can imagine, is going to need a lot of explanation 100 years from now if things do get reset. Is there anything that you would point out in particular?
I think there's a couple of things that I noticed today versus maybe 15 years ago, even so, but the fact that it used to be a really excellent thing to have boys do boy things and girls do girl things, like Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, where now we have to do it together because everybody thinks that that's supposed to be better. And in some respects it is, but it kind of dumbs down everything in a way, and we have to be so polite and comfortable. It changed all the rules with the way that we play, and kids not being able to hug us, and there's still people wearing masks and being worried. Kids are smaller, much smaller than they used to be 20 years ago, and they're pale.
There is a lot of pale, jaundiced kids out there.
Pale, sunscreen all over themselves, scared of everything. And I think the boomer generation did that to kids. So I think that would be really hard to explain, that kids used to be rough and tan and carefree, and they're not carefree anymore. And I think that sucks. But we're doing our best, we do our best to have these events to make kids happy.
Yeah, well, before you leave, because you're talking about the co-ed nature of the Scouts now, but even from a baseball standpoint, for the 16 years that I coached Little League, it was always co-ed at that point. When I played, it was the boys played Little League, the girls played softball. We would always go and watch the girls play softball. They were all our friends. They came watch us. There was dare to say, separate but equal kind of feeling there. There was no sense of really a competition. There was no sense of superiority or inferiority. There was a sense of community. There was cooperation. We all liked playing kickball together and shit, but we just knew, whatever. And in that respect, even in the years that I coached, I found that at least up until 12 years old, the girls did decently well working with the boys. Some of them did better than most of the others, but still, seeing that mesh there, I often wondered if that was a help or a hindrance, or if it was just all a wash. I don't know. What do you think? At least on an athletics level, because one way or another, girls at 13, they have to prepare to go into softball and prepare to go into either JV or varsity softball and whatever. There's no path forward with baseball for them. So I guess it wasn't too big of a deal. But when I was 5th, 6th, 7th grade, it was kind of fun going to watch the girls play their game, and then they come watch us. And I don't know if something was gained or lost from that.
In a way, I think it is a wash, because just getting them to do it is joyful. Like, scouting is the best thing I could possibly do for a kid now and then. Absolutely the best program I could recommend. But guys have to just be more careful when they're playing with girls. Just, so nobody gets hurt. And I think that's taken away from a little bit of their roughhousing, I guess, or just screwing around.
Yeah.
With each other. They just are hesitant to be that way. And I don't know, I feel like it's lost a little bit of it, but as long as they're doing something together outside, to me, it's joy. So I don't know how that would be in 100 years,
I know. I shudder, to be honest.
Plus pledging the flag, Frank. To see kids doing that is so amazing how it touches me, because they're still doing it. So
you're still working. So then you work with the Scouts?
Yep, I do.
Wow. And how long have you been doing that?
Next year will be my 20th year.
Wow. I never knew this about you.
Got lots going on.
That's
I love kids, so this time of year juices me for the whole year.
well, I'm happy to hear it. I'm glad that people like you are on the inside, because of course those organizations don't have very good reputations these days.
No, they don't. But I'm sorry about that. But I've only seen the good.
I'm happy for it. Well, thanks for so much, Hot Legs. I'm going to have to learn more about that, because I want to know more about what you know, and yeah, I'd love to get more of that out of you. So thanks for the call.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. All right, 914-200-0269. We got a couple of more super chats in here. Jay Britt says, Dear 2125, in 2020, the United States of America, assuming it still exists, inaugurated a corpse as the president of our country, and that is no shit. I mean, that's a great one. Jeff, that's a good one. Explaining 100 years forward what Joe Biden really was. Again, this is all depending on who's writing the histories. 859, we're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, is this Frank?
It is. Who's this?
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm watching on TV too. Let me turn this off.
No problem.
Hey, this is CJ from Kentucky.
Hey, CJ, welcome on.
So what I'd have to say to our fine people 100 years from now is that we had the stupidity of placing a Supreme Court justice who could not even tell the definition of a woman.
I forgot about Katanjo. That's right.
Yeah, what about her?
Oh my gosh. How do you explain a Supreme Court justice who waffled under the hard interrogation of whether
what a hard question.
Oh man, you would think that they were asking her to solve advanced calculus on the spot without a calculator. Without a calculator,
yeah, no.
Solve this equation. All they asked her was, how can you define womanhood?
Well, you can have a baby. How about that?
I know. But what was her default? She said, I'm not a biologist.
Right. Yeah, I'm not a biologist. Well,
wow.
Okay.
Well,
but another thing is, we're letting men play in women's sports, and you'd tell your grandfather that, and he'd say, "What? You're letting women play sports?"
You see, there's a progression there. You wonder, is it an overcorrection? When did we hit equilibrium? I like I said, I loved when we were playing our games on a Wednesday night, and then we went up to one park or the other to see the girls play another team from next town over on a Thursday night, and it was the height of everything, and it was flirty, and it was fun, and it was great. I would be very, very upset if the girls basketball team and the girls softball team did not exist because of social norms. But like what you're talking about now with where it has all gone to, that's always the big question with me is, was something that felt so good really just like at one point of a slippery slope? I can't imagine. Was that truly a slippery slope? Letting girls play softball or let them play sports? No. Can't be. Can't. 413, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank. Grady from Massachusetts.
Grady, it's wonderful to hear from you.
Happy summer.
You too.
Condolences on your friend.
Oh, thank you.
And you're welcome. And message to 2125. I hope you're still there. I hope you're still human. I hope AI hasn't taken over. I hope we figured out differences between men and women and still have a difference. And I hope you're not living in idiocracy.
You said that. I think the thing that struck me the most is, I hope you're still there. I hope you're still human. And right now, over the last 3 years or so, we have gotten those stories of people who have offered themselves up to take the chip, whether they be paraplegics, quadriplegics, whatever it is. So it's already starting to be dabbled with, and you just we're on the precipice of that reality, and wonder in 100 years from now,
slippery slope. I mean, yes, for paraplegics and of handicaps, yes. For the rest of us, it's a very slippery slope.
Well, thank you so much for the call, and I hope
one other thought.
Yeah.
One other real quick thought. Tim Walz and what's the name? The Supreme Court justice can't tell a difference between a man and a woman. I can understand Kamala Harris not being able to tell a difference because I think she's confused what she is.
Oh, you think so? It could be.
I think we're confused. I think she's a guy.
Yeah. Oh, you really do?
I think is evidence to the fact. I mean, we know Michelle is Michael, but I think is evidence that Kamala is a guy too.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, she's been a pretty repulsive public figure for me, only because I think that promoting her, and thank you for the call, Grady. That's an interesting one. I never heard of that one, because my radar was never went off with that. She was a repulsive figure in public just because you're scraping the bottom of the barrel to make her into something. You know, you could almost respect the gamesmanship and the cunning nature of a Hillary Clinton who's been in the game, who has cut her teeth. She has made breaks. She's been telling you, and far more intelligent, especially on her feet, as far as being able to talk her way through serious situations, to really just, glad hand her way through a campaign stop or whatever the hell it was. The other one, that was just such an insult to anybody's intelligence. What we had to put up with the last few years. That's why it was such a repulsive thing. Otherwise, I really pay her no mind whatsoever. I don't understand why anybody had to scrape the bottom of the barrel like that. You could have gotten anybody. That would have been better. Let's see here. Twee Girl. This is on YouTube. Says 100 years ago, the hippies morphed into yuppies. They snorted mountains of coke. They climbed the ranks of government and went on to ruin Jimi Hendrix's music from beyond the grave because my orange man bad. Wow, Twee Girl, that's a good one. From hippies to yuppies. Domingos 2979 says, my prayers go out to you and your friend's family. Definitely I'm redirecting them to my friend's family. That's I saw people in a world of hurt today, and a world of hurt. Thank you for that. ST says, heartfelt condolences, Frank, for the loss of your friend Joe. Prayers up to his family and friends. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really do. Let me go to Rumble. There's a few people over on Rumble. We'll see what the hell they're saying over there. Grace on Pro says, not sure if there's a contest, but it's time to contribute. Love the show, Frank. Thank you. I don't have anything. I didn't have anything to give away tonight. I didn't think to look up something, but I promise I'll have something for you on Monday. I'll have something great on Monday. So fun. We'll see what it is. Either way, it'll be personal. So there's that. So be on the lookout for it. Jay Semo says, prayers for Joey. Amen. Miss Maniac says, Frank, we Franklys and Franciscans respectfully offer you our deepest sympathy and sincere condolences at this time. Sorrow of your friend. Love, hugs, and persevere. Well, we all go through it. And, losses hurt one way or another, and the circumstances of some losses hurt more than others because of obvious things, age, all of that. And this show has been an outlet for things like this because it has brought people out of the woodwork who are going through similar things that want to talk and have some words of wisdom or something. It's led to some incredibly wonderful shows, even though they do from time to time. We travel the entire spectrum of emotions over here. It's not just all it's not all ham-fisted whatever. So I appreciate you guys just being a part of this exercise of talk. Let's see here. Coffee with Sandra over on Pilled says, "Oh, total disrespect for the beautiful guitar." I know. And listen, I don't care if people go out there and learn an instrument. You should. And I don't even care if you're not really that good or you're not taking yourself too seriously and you just want to show people your progress. That's not what's going on here. With Hank Johnson, that's not what's going on here. What did he think was going to happen? It's going to start trending? No. The peanut gallery. People like me are just going to laugh, and everybody else is going to be like, "Oh God, Hank, just please, you're not helping us." So there you have that. 740, you're on the air. You're the last call, the first half. Go ahead.
Hey, it's Jalen Winning.
Hey, Jalen, it's all good to hear from you.
You too. I'd like to say for people 100 years from now that Pennsylvania actually voted in a senator that didn't make any sense until after he had a stroke.
This is one of the great mysteries. It has to be filed in the same filing cabinet as the Joe Biden investigation, as far as who he is, how many doubles there are, whether or not AI is a part of it, what his true diagnosis was, who knew when, what did they do, so the Joe Biden question is in that filing cabinet. And it's a big question because he's the president and somebody or a team of people were acting under the assumed identity of the office of the presidency, and Joe Biden was just having a nap somewhere else. But Fetterman is really, really incredible because when he was running for the Senate, he couldn't put any words together. And I didn't know anything about him because he's not, I'm not really seeing a lot of him being in New York. But from seeing him in those first months, and I was so beside myself with grief for the guy. Like I felt bad for him. Yeah. I felt bad for him because he couldn't function. I said, wow. And that somebody who was already that far along after they had their stroke, you have to imagine that it's not going to get that much better. And, but it's so many weird things that the Senate made those concessions for him and his ridiculous dress code. Then he left altogether after a few months in office to go to therapy, or he had depression, clinically depressed, and he had to go away to be treated somewhere. And then he comes back from his stint and he is surprisingly more coherent. He's making really interesting. He becomes the Kirsten Sinema of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I just don't get, I don't, it's the craziest. That's one of it. It has to be in the same filing cabinet as Joe Biden.
I was following a lot when he was in therapy or whatever, and it was like his wife, she was like on this like influencer kick, and she just like disappeared after a while. I wonder if she had a lot to do with it.
I don't know. These are all the questions. I wonder if somebody else has figured it out in all of their theorizing with that. Thank you so much for calling up. Obviously, Fetterman goes into the same filing cabinet as Joe, but also Hank Johnson. There are others too. There are other there are people who are just very low functioning out there, but that's a good one. Thanks again, my friend. Okay, well there goes Jalen. Jalen has some wonderful contributions to all of our book club meetings, which I have to post the new book club official thread over the weekend. Get your book club in. We're very close to finishing Tom Sawyer, and it was such a great ride. Great summer theme. I can't wait for the August read. Maybe Lindsay Sharman will come back and read The Body with me. I got to get in touch with her. I like hanging out with Lindsay in August and Charlie Robinson in June. It's become like a little tradition now. This is the third year in a row. Anyway, okay, let's take a really quick break. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we've got reels to watch. I've got more of your super chats to read. This should be fun. And I'm just going to sit back. We're going to play videos and just react to them. Some of them I've seen. I knew that you guys would like. Others I'm going to be seeing for the first time, either partially or in whole. So there's that. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right, let's talk health essentials because apparently I need a whole science lab to function. So I need MCT oil for metabolism boost, check. Lion's mane for brain health, check. Elfin JPC for memory and focus, check. L-theanine for stress, check. And a superfood creamer because I need my coffee super creamy. Or I can just purchase myself some keto brains.
Came in over here. And the first thing I thought was, let me just get the most metal sounding song I can think of real quick. So I went to Black Magic by Slayer. It's so evil. And the reason, here's the headline or the super chat from Tim. I heard you talking about Monsters of Rock the other day. That's the 1991 Monsters of Rock in Moscow. On one of your side streams. That is always one of my go-tos. What a legendary show. Yes, absolutely. And as I was talking about with Jay Gulanello off air, I don't know if it made it on air in some kind of a side comment or no, but I don't think it did. But man, can't we just conquer our enemies with a nice rock concert anymore? I will tell you, man, Monsters of Rock, unofficially, to me, in 1991, the Soviet Union's already really teetering on the brink, but you've got this free concert out there in Moscow that brings in what is believed to be anywhere between 1 million and 1.6 million people, including tens of thousands of Russian soldiers who are there to do crowd control. And man, it's so awesome. It's so awesome. I had to get this up here too. Because, you had Metallica, Pantera, AC/DC. I think Queensryche was there, but I just went to go check it out. And the first thing that popped up was the Black Crowes. If this was bar trivia and you tell me who the hell was there, I would probably remember AC/DC on top of Metallica and Pantera. But I would have gone down with Black Crowes and Queensryche. Queensryche's pretty good. They hold up, but I've watched the Metallica and Pantera sets so many times. This is hold on, I had to pull it up. Harvester of Sorrow is really awesome. Let me get this up here. Metallica live in Moscow, full concert. Look at it. Look at all those people. Look at all these, dude, to see. We're talking about at least in one spot, 600,000 people. But they're saying upwards of 1 million. American flags all over the place in Moscow. American flags, Russian flags, Confederate flags. Yeah. See, that's what we brought. We brought American badassery right into the middle of Russia. They didn't need bombs. Didn't need any of that stuff. Look at that. Hold on. You see that? I love that. I love that spot. Hold on. And there's the other thing here too, ladies and gentlemen. The sea. Look at that. I mean, you see the Union Jack out there, but there's a whole bunch of American flags being flown. And it was hard. It was very hard to get into to get any kind of Western music into the Soviet Union, even in the early '90s when it was about to break apart. You remember we were talking about bone music? how hard it was for people to own records, that they actually snuck music onto, what was it? X-ray plates. So you had x-rays of people's bones, and they found a way to actually smuggle and store music onto x-ray plates. And they called it bone music in the Soviet Union. And to see this happen, I always love going back. And I was 6 years old, so I'm oblivious to this going on. But I always say, why the hell couldn't we just go out there, and that's all we needed? And this is a free concert too. Like, what were people thinking? Unless everybody on the inside. I love it at the end. So many, there's footage all at the end. You have so many of these soldiers who, at certain points during the performance, they just start taking their uniforms off, and they're just in there with the crowd surfing, all that shit. Oh man. That's good. You know who else we sent over there? Let me get this. Hold on. Wait. Where the hell would it be? Domination? Pantera? Texas. This is the Texas and Louisiana. This is what Texas and Louisiana dispatched out there to go into Moscow. This is probably around the point. Here you go. Dimebag Darrell. Give him a little solo. Absolutely. I got to say. Oh, I love watching that. I love watching that entire thing. Both of those bands. I actually haven't watched any of AC/DC or Queensryche. Certainly haven't watched the Black Crowes, but maybe I'll take a look at them one day just to say I did. Oh. Anyway, what do we do now? Let's go to the super chats before we start our real review, and then we're going to end with your calls. Tom Volt says, hi, Frank. I'm so sorry for your loss. Prayers to all. I am taking them all, and I'm packaging them up with my nightly prayers, and I'm going to supercharge them and pass them all along. Absolutely. Say it's just one of those days to count your blessings, and it's been like a time warp, reassessing the last 25 years, the things that's happened, all the little things I remember happening in present. I remember walking up to the park with like Joey and a couple other people when we were having those September 11th vigils where it's just like, it's like late September 2001. The whole town is getting together and everybody's bringing their American flags up and all that stuff. And everybody just lives, everybody knows where we all live. We're all just walking or skateboarding to each other's houses. Didn't have cell phones, didn't have beepers. It was just a different world. And I don't know. You start taking account of all that stuff when you see certain stories end and you realize, again, more things to mark the time. But thank you, Tammy. Grimbold72 says, 100 years ago, we, quite frankly, had the best show on earth. Well, I appreciate that. And I hope that it's remembered that way. We have a lot more work to do, obviously. And the work is really going to expand this summer, starting in July. We gotta make our best effort to introduce ourselves to more people and play this internet game a little bit better. John Volts, thank you again. John Volts, who I think is in league with Tammy Volts, says, God bless you, Frank, for keeping your composure and running a show tonight. Best wishes to Joe's family. And I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, and then Miss Maniac sent another one over. Dear U.S. citizens of 2125, be advised and aware, approximately 100 years ago, all mental asylums were permanently closed. Patients were released into the public, causing chaos and destroying our country. No, they became members of Congress. They became members of Congress. So, Vesper says, Frank, let's do a hard rock video night. Oh, yes. Listen, I have some things going on with the next couple of Saturdays. So this Saturday, I've got my father and my cousin and my brother coming in. The Saturday, the 28th, will be off. I don't know about Saturday. I think Saturday 5th we're not going to be on. So I'm going to think about something else. I don't know. I think on like June 12th, and I have other things going on there where on the 26th of July, that's going to be a Zadal's in New York night. But there's going to be a couple of Saturdays leading up to that I'm just going to go live from Studio B at night. And it's going to be in part almost like Total Request Live, where I would love to do music videos. You call in, you make a request. We won't watch the whole thing, but I want to watch a little bit of it. We can get some sort of a Beavis and Butthead feel. Maybe we'll do the most ridiculous music videos countdown. There's so many ridiculous music videos. The stories that are told. Whoever storyboarded some of the music videos out there that we're going to talk about. Don't worry, we're going to have a lot of fun with that. Tonight was just a little bit more impromptu. Okay, so are you guys ready? Let's get some reels in. I have them all lined up here. And hold on, get it out of the way. So we're just going to react. We've got some things that are coming up that are really, I think, just triumphs of really good comedy writing. Then there's just chaotic things, strange things, music-related stuff, outlandish, funny, poignant, who knows. But we have a couple of things to watch together, and let us start. Let us start right here.
One in this room's test scores from last week have been tossed. They've been developing test questions for a brand new exam that you are going to take to make up for last week's scores right now. By some miracle, you all managed to score even better on yesterday's exam. We're going to take another exam with questions written by me and me only, which means I'm also the only person in the world who could help you cheat. And guess what? I'm not going to do that. So how'd you do it? Here's what we're going to do. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100. You get it right, you pass this class. You get it wrong, you fail. Yesterday, when Jeremy guessed 17, I was thinking to myself, well, that's just lucky Jeremy. And then when Eric and Michaela and Tori all correctly guessed the numbers that I was thinking of, I began to lose all faith in reason. One of you has implanted a chip into my brain. I'm coming for you. But what remains to be seen is if you can tell me what's going to happen in my future. These are my mother's ashes. She died, as you all accurately answered on your exam. I can't teach you anything. You already know everything. You already know everything. What are the winning Powerball numbers this weekend? I'm fucking rich! Wait a minute. Is my wife cheating on me? I fucking knew it, that fucking bitch. Do aliens really exist? Who killed JFK? 9/11. Let's start with Tower 7. What really happened? How do I become best friends with Bruno Mars?
Bruno Mars just asked me to open for him at MetLife.
Well, that was insane. The feeling of euphoria can never be that good again, right? Right? You guys are absolutely sure about this?
Oh my gosh.
How do I get off heroin? When am I going to die? So little time left. Israel, Palestine. How do we fix that? You gave me the Nobel Peace Prize, huh? What are we doing about Ukraine? I've been offered Secretary of State, but it's not enough. How do I overthrow the president? All right, he's dead, but I think his wife saw me. What am I supposed to do? All right, she's dead. Who should I pick as my VP? I don't fucking need you. You need me. I don't need you. You need me. Well, you guys were right. You cheated.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's incredible. You know what's incredible? The best part is that he maintained that authentic teacher composure throughout the whole thing. I've gotten those speeches before. Everybody scored very interestingly the same. You all got the same things wrong, same things right. Blah blah blah. We're going to take it again right now. Oh man, that went didn't expect where that was going. Love it. What's this one? This was sent to me by Josh. And I cannot... You don't see Orson Welles memes every day, so I had to stop to admire this one. A shrimp? Am I to accept as God's own truth? at the sea's very old, own abominable and chittering roach, was the one who took walk into hand and fried this rice. Shrimp fried rice. Incredible. Top comment. Yes, a shrimp can make a succulent Chinese meal. Ah, the French. You have to stop and admire Orson Welles memes. There's not very many of them out there. I have a few on my phone, to be honest. All right, what is this? A deleted scene from Interstellar.
Hey, Dad. It's me, your son. 35 now. No wife, no kids. But I did start a band. We're called Forbidden in Flames. Forbidden in Flames! I came up with that name. We're blowing up on TikTok right now. We have like 116 followers. I gained a follower today. Dad, check this out. Bamboozle 2006. Fall Out Boy and Taking Back Sunday. Haven't washed this shirt since. Oh, Dad, we have this brand new song that goes, if you are the skull, I am the crow and I land on you. Yeah. Ends with the scream right there. Dad, guess what? They might bring back Warped Tour. It's just a rumor, and if they do, I'm finally gonna play it. My band's gonna play Warped Tour, Dad. Not the actual festival, just in the parking lot for the fans that are waiting to get in. Also, they don't make guys' jeans that skinny, so I went to Forever 21, and I got these girl jeans, and they're super stretchy, because a dad like you is impossible to find. You're impossible to find. Come home, Dad. I miss you.
Oh my God.
Hey, Dad.
Oh. I love the chuckle laughter. I'm going to be on Warped Tour. This is wonderfully acted. It's wonderfully acted. Now, I don't know if this was made just to be meshed together with Matthew McConaughey's reaction after the first mission fails right outside of the black hole. What was it? Which planet was? I forget. Anyway, I don't know if this was made with that intention, but the meshing of this together is hilarious, because it's one thing to say, wow, I just lost 30-something years and my daughter is now completely grown up and I've missed their lives. I missed my grandchildren, all of that shit. It's all gone. But to have the son be this messed up, obviously he's the whole character is messed up emotionally. And so badly, it's like tragic. It's like, it's tragic. It's funny in its tragedy. Good job. I love this one. All right. What is this? This was just sent to me today. Amelia Earhart, How It Really Happened. Let's see.
Well, I've just about flown us around the world. We're over the Pacific, not a cloud in sight. 1937 style cruising at its finest.
Do you mind if I, Amelia Earhart, try flying for a sec?
Sure thing.
First of all, do you mind if I, Amelia Earhart, and then just immediately does a nosedive?
Well, I've just about flown us around the world. We're over the Pacific, not a cloud in sight. 1937 style cruising at its finest.
Do you mind if I, Amelia Earhart, try flying for a sec?
Sure thing.
Oh boy. Couldn't even find the pieces. Oh boy. Knew the perfect place to land. All right, what's this? When you liked one cute cat video, but now Instagram thinks you don't want racist and homophobic memes any longer.
What? But you can't do this to me.
You know how much I sacrificed?
What? But you can't do this to me.
You know how much I sacrificed?
Every like. I built this algorithm brick by brick. Every like. I was telling you what I wanted. I haven't seen one Hitler meme in weeks. Where the hell will the Kanye memes go? Just gone. Because I liked something that was wholesome. I wanted a mix of both. Anyway, this one. This one made me so angry. And according to the comments, everybody else felt the same feelings I did. Let's see here. Father and son made a Skittles dispensing machine together. And yeah, good job with your ET hands. Okay, I don't want to stop this along the way. But this is so infuriating, starting with the ET hands, spilling the Skittles everywhere, like it's the Reese's Pieces.
Maybe we should just go with the whole...
It's like ET. Was that ET? Is this... Who is this? That's ET.
You know.
And here comes... There you go. There you go.
What?
Yeah, there you go. Spilling them all over the place. My hands feel weird.
Now we got a Skittle machine. All right, so how does it work?
Just turn it. Oh, the chewing.
That's how you get some Skittles.
Yeah, that's it. It's the great.
Taste the rainbow.
Yeah, taste the rainbow. 15 minutes later. I always like putting unnecessary hurdles in between me and my snacks, even though based on the chewing, nobody was stopped. Because first of all, there's Skittles all over the place. They made the entire kitchen into a Skittle dispensing machine. There's Skittles on the stove. There's Skittles under the stove. Let's see some of the comments over here. Every part of this video is the worst part. Literally the most unsatisfying video I saw this year. Yeah, let's just spill all these fucking Skittles everywhere. Go back to the drawing board. Take his hands away. Yes. I'm surprised nobody said anything about E.T. That boy is going places, just not college. Is this rage bait? What the hell did somebody say? This is me when I invent the dispenser of inefficiency and income. Somebody else said something. Well, hold on. Wait. I know that there was a comment in here that I liked about have they used their hands before? Oh, that one got me. All right, this one. Let's see what we got. What was that? A guy inside of a dryer?
Fuck out of there.
Yo, talk to me with some respect.
I ain't talking to nobody. Put your hands behind your back now. Let's go.
Talk to me with some respect.
Respect? You're in a fucking washer. Now.
Yes, my washer. Oh, relax, bro. What the
now.
fuck? Yo, I'm gonna put my hands in my back, but you don't have to be doing this shit, bro.
Now. Now. Hands behind your back. Follow instructions.
Getting recorded, bro.
Follow instructions. Get the fuck out of there.
Okay, so not a washer. I mean, it's not a dryer. It's a washer. That's what they say. Hey, I don't know. It looks like a dryer. You wouldn't put a washer up like that with the side thing. Either way, talk to me with some respect as he's crawling out of the dryer. Now, I gotta say, the first thing that this reminds me of is Matt. Because Matt is, I mean, you're talking about hiding in a washing machine or a dryer. This is like playing hide and seek with Matt. You think that there's no hiding spots in your house? You think that there is no hiding spots in your house that you haven't thought of? You haven't played hide and seek with Matt yet. Nope. Whenever we go like to the mountains or something like that, he goes and hides. We give him like 3 minutes to hide somewhere in the house. And then we all hunt him with Nerf guns. We hunt him down like it's most dangerous game. And he always finds, I don't know how he did it, but he found a way to stuff himself inside of a cabinet where an old VCR was once. And he actually put a wall of VHS tapes in front of him too. I was impressed. I really was. I didn't think you could do it. All right, let's see here. We got some This Day in History. This is incredible. David Lee Roth kicks a grenade into the crowd, sparking criticism on audience safety. 1980. He was later kicked out of Van Halen. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Incredible. I did not know that this is what brought on the Hagar days. I did not know that this is what started Van Hagar. He was kicked out. But, here, this is something else that I saw not too long after that. They said that was 1980, that David Lee Roth kicked a grenade into the crowd. Well, apparently, 3 years later, things didn't get better for Van Halen fans after David was kicked out, because this happened 3 years later. On this day in history, Eddie Van Halen throws his signature Tannerite pick into the crowd, causing 12 fans to lose their legs. Oh, man. That's just so crazy. There he goes, Tannerite. Just took a dozen people out just like that. During his iconic solo Eruption, Van Halen tossed a guitar pick into the crowd, a signature move he's known for. But this time, the pick reportedly made of a small amount of tannerite, a reactive compound, ignited shortly after landing among fans. I did not know this history. What is this? This was sent to me. Frank, you got to watch this. All right. It looks like a woman getting ready to do a TV spot about Suicide Prevention Month. Hopefully, I hate when they tape television. Hopefully the audio is good. Let's see.
Suicide is always there as an option, but it's never the right solution to the problem. And if you
What? Hold on. Wait.
Suicide is always there as an option, but it's never the right solution to the problem. And if you hit your breaking point, instead of just taking your life, do something one step short of it. Quit your job and move to China to become a rice. Or don't quit your job. There are resources available. Talk to your loved one.
What the hell was that? Well, I mean, I heard it. I don't know if did somebody in the comments over here said that did they hijack the teleprompter on her? They have to be. So essentially, what she just said was suicide is
always there as an option, but it's never the right solution.
Suicide is always there as an option, but it's never the right solution. I wonder if the entire segment was a trap. Because even that is a horrible thing to say. So she said suicide is an option, but it's not the best solution. And then she goes on to say, quit your job and move to China and become a rice farmer. But she stops herself. She realizes that she's in trouble. So essentially what she ended up saying was, hey, killing yourself is, of course, always an option. But perhaps you should do something, what she says in there, one step short of that. So one step short of death is moving to China and becoming a rice farmer. Wow. Well, I wonder what the hell happened with this situation. If this was a trap from the beginning or what.
People are getting more sophisticated. People are waking up faster. It's exponential, but it's still a problem. So it's something we need to discuss and talk about. Also, because the awakening is moving so quickly, and that's one of the only areas.
Can you imagine waking up in the middle of the night and that's your sleep paralysis demon? It's just a silhouette of Alex Jones talking to you. Somebody in the comments says that's no demon, that's an angel. Oh my gosh. Anyway, that's what we have a little bit tonight. That's what we have for now. All right, so I'm going to take a really quick break. When we come back, your calls and your super chats to end this section of the show, of the work week. All right, and we'll go back to the 100-year message and all that other stuff. Don't go anywhere. BRB.
Filling every part of our praise. Your presence in this place, your glory on our face. We're looking to the sky, descending like a cloud. You're standing with us now, Lord, unveil our eyes. You're the reason we're here. You're the reason we're singing. So open up the heavens, we want to see you. Open up the floodgates, a mighty river flowing from your heart, filling every part of our praise.
Nazi dread like Bob, so rock steady. But no spaghetti with meat sauce, maybe salads with one toss. No bread of the sorrow, cause I pray to see tomorrow. It's religion, never suspicious, too delicious for the tongue. See the lungs breathe the natural high, just like the shirts are so lovely. So ask Marco Polo, and I never go solo, because I roll with the crew that keep the funk flows, that make you dance until the sisters take glance. I hope you find romance.
All right. All right, so let's see where we're at here. All right, let's see. 914-200-0269. What's going on, Cave Toad?
Hey, Frank, how you doing tonight? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Go ahead.
I understand it's not real happy because you had to go, put your old friend down, and prayers, and it's sad, but as we get older, that becomes part of the deal, right?
I guess so, yes. So what do you got for us?
So, you were talking about Monsters of Rock and Metallica doing Harvester of Sorrow.
Yes.
So, I was at the opening show for the Monsters of Rock tour at Alpine Valley on May 27th, 1988. MTV was there. There were sod fights where people were ripping up the sod and throwing it through the crowd. And how old were you in 1988?
3.
It was.
I was watching that the other night, actually, because I started going through the other years that were on there, and that was I think 88 was the year with Scorpions.
It was correct. It was Kingdom Come, then Dokken, then
Rockin'.
Metallica, then Scorpions, then Van Halen. So Metallica was even down the bill. This was pre and Justice for All.
Yeah. Yeah.
And still with Cliff.
No. No. Cliff.
No. Well, I've seen Metallica with Cliff plenty of times. Boy, you know what? You're right. It was just.
He died
with Jason and the band.
He died 2 years before that.
Correct. So it was so funny because they said, "Oh, we'll do something." They were completely alcoholica at that point. And so this is like my Zoso story. I can give you, I don't have the story Zoso dude has, but I've got mine.
Well, he was probably there. He's probably there with you.
And you know what? Well, I don't know. Maybe actually, because of the event, you're right. We should ask Zoso sometime. But anyway, so they started on Harvester of Sorrow, and none of us had heard it. Nobody had,
Yeah.
And then, everybody starts going crazy. Whoa, it's the new Metallica. You know, we're just moshing. Everybody's hammered, having a good time. And they got about maybe a third of the way into the song, and it just blew up. The drums lost the guitars, lost the bass and everything, and then they're just like, fuck it. We're done.
That was it.
So it's hilarious.
Oh, well, you know, I'm going to have to look into it because I bet you any money it's on there. That's the one thing I can tell you. And thank you for the call, Cave Toad. Well, the one thing I can tell you is this. Something happened over the last maybe over the last year or so. There is so much footage of bands, all bands, at least the ones that we were really interested in. We thought that we had seen all of the footage there was to be seen. Behind the scenes footage, home video stuff, things that didn't make all the home videos. But I mean, if you type in a concert that you were at sometime over the last few years, or I mean, I would say back in the day when you would expect there to be no recordings of it, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Even if they are just grainy, shitty recordings. Like I found the two Pantera concerts that I was at. One at Hammerstein Ballroom and the other one at, the Continental Arena, something like that. It was all in 2001, summer of 2001, August, whatever the hell it was. It's just somebody's handheld, but sometimes you get some really good stuff. And somebody just put out a visually remastered, I don't know, some of the first, maybe one of the last performances that Metallica did with Dave Mustaine as a member of the band. It's crazy to see it, but there is something. These Monsters of Rock, I'm looking at it. Monsters of Rock, Donington, 1988, part 1. It's an hour long. So there's a part 2 out there somewhere. Monsters of Rock, 1988, Van Halen. I mean, it's all out there. It's crazy. Here's a Van Halen Live, 1984, full concert, Montreal, best quality. Nearly 2 hour set on VHS, but now it's out there. People, you would think, oh, well, you know, that was back then. They didn't record all the stuff. Yeah, apparently they did. There's some incredible stuff that I have seen uploaded over the last few months, especially. I guess I'm just in the algorithm right now, but it's pretty great. It really is. Linda, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank, how's it going?
It's going well.
That's awesome. So I have 2 messages for the future for 100 years from now.
Okay.
Number 1 is for any future musicians. I hope that you'll consider writing your own music, because the authenticity of it actually coming from you, that which God put in us, within us, that talent, that creativity, in my opinion, will always far supersede anything that is AI, artificial intelligence. And my second message for the future 100 years from now, I hope, and I'm sure that it'll be passed on to the successors of Molly at Keto Brainz, but I hope everyone is still consuming Keto Brainz, because thanks to you and sending me some samples, I thank you with all my heart. My energy, literally the very first day, propelled from the moment I began to drink it all the way till late at night. And I woke up the next day feeling energized and focused and clear. Anyway, I love it. And per what I had shared with you in the email, I love the fact that all the products that I was using to put into my bulletproof coffee, I don't have to use, because they're all in Keto Brainz. So I hope 100 years from now, people are still consuming this phenomenal product.
Well,
so those are my 2 messages.
I appreciate it, Linda, and I'm glad you're enjoying, and I'm glad you're out there. And you know, I'd tack a few things on there. Number 1, I just hope that people 100 years from now, it'd be more so along the lines of trying to, like I said, the real premise of the call of the topic tonight is trying to explain something that seems ridiculous now. So if you want to take a health standpoint from this, you can say something along the lines of like when we were talking about with Jay Gulanello last night, trying to explain to people 100 years down the line, if we continue on a trajectory where people start looking inward and trying to tinker with their diet and learn more about themselves and bring in supplements and that are really of nature and actually work and fit in and actually, work in chorus with the body instead of just working against it. Like I always talk about those, gas station quality 5-hour energy drinks that are just, it's not doing much for you. There's an upper aspect to it, but you don't feel good all very far down the line. So yeah, hopefully we're on that trajectory. But what you would have to explain to them is why so much sugar and grains are prioritized on our food pyramid versus red meat and butter or whatever, things that are actually good for you, and why there was such a stance that was taken that is of the most crazy inversion of the stance that you would want to take and the science you would want to follow if you were truly interested in trying to optimize human health and be able to keep people away or far away from any state of being that is going to drag down the system, especially if you are going to stand on principle, some kind of a principle that the system, the government of any country, needs to provide health care to its people. Then okay, if you're going to take that stance, then why wouldn't you actually stand by actual health care? Why would you make people follow this food pyramid? It's that would be a good one. Calling in saying, "Hey, everybody from 2125, let me tell you a little something about this food pyramid that we had." That's it. That's a good one. Well, what was the other one she said? I forgot. Oh, AI. That's interesting too. Because if we stay on the AI trajectory when it comes to art, 100 years from now, you may have to tell people how the standard was actually people using their hand. You remember from Back to the Future 2 when Marty goes into the Cafe 80s and little Elijah Wood is standing over there in front of the what is it, the shootout video game, the old retro arcade game where you fire at all of the outlaws in the old West and you have a gun. And Marty has to go into the kids from 2015. They really missed the boat on that one, but they had to try. The kids from 2015 are like, how the hell do you use this? Whatever. And Marty comes over. He goes, oh, here we go. He takes the gun and boom, 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 boom. He's a crack shot. He takes everybody down in the video game. And the kids go, wait, you mean you got to use your hands? It's like a baby's toy. For them, it's obscene to have ever thought that to play a video game, you'd actually even have to be hands-on. That's just to play a video game. Forget about anything else. So if this trajectory, what if 100 years from now, it's going to be like alien to think that somebody would ever, sculpt something out of a solid block of marble with their hands and not get something to 3D print, to laser cut it down to precision and all that stuff. What I will say is this, I don't think that we're going there. I don't think that's going to happen. There is we're still going to have to contend with AI, but there is a revulsion against AI art that people, I see it all over the place, that people they get very, especially in music or anything else like that, it's not going to be accepted as art. And people are going to be, I think the Milli Vanilli scandals of the future are going to be AI related. You think about all the shit that Milli Vanilli went through because they were caught lip syncing, and this is like an industry standard now. These guys were like universally embarrassed. One of them ended up killing themselves, right? I don't know if it's related or something, but I'm sure it didn't help. Milli Vanilli was really put through the ringer, and you think about how this is just everybody's act just across the board. It's very rare that you go on to a television show as a musical guest and get a lot of live performing in. You're definitely not performing live at the Super Bowl in many cases. Definitely not performing live at a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. That is the worst lip syncing you'll ever see in your life. The worst lip syncing you ever see in your life are the acts that go down Fifth Ave or wherever the hell it is on Thanksgiving Day. So I really think that the Milli Vanilli scandals of the future are going to be AI related. That people are going to be outed as using AI to put something together, or I don't know. I think that's what it's going to be, where some kind of visual art or a video game or whatever. I guess people won't care if the video game is good, but it'll almost be like getting into, essentially AI will be like bodybuilding, like Mr. Olympia. Nobody competes for Mr. Olympia and is doing it clean. You have a team of doctors around you that are regulating you on a hormonal level. You are being very carefully monitored. It's blood testing all the time to make sure that all the stacks that you're on, all the gear that you're using to get to that degree is going to be optimized, and hopefully you can do it as safe as humanly possible. But you have to, if you really want to get into a bodybuilding competition that is people who are truly natty, you got to go looking. And that is on a whole other level, and you can see the difference. I have to imagine that there is just going to be certain places where everybody knows that certain aspects of the media, certain aspects of the movie industry, whatever the hell you're going to call it, streaming, everything is going to eventually become very AI driven in its production. And it'll just become as accepted as, using these super stacks of anabolic steroids are going to be accepted as just part of the norm in bodybuilding. Or how we, it took a little bit of time for everybody to get over the shock that that professional wrestling on WWE was all predetermined outcomes. So it's not going away. But that's probably where I think it would go. All right, let's see here. Happy Friday, Frankly, says Grandma Grateful. It's great to have you out there, Grandma. Thank you so much. Grimbold72 says 100 years ago, people thought Earth was a ball. That is going to shock many people. It's going to shock them all. Stowstube says, evening, Frank. Be well, Frank and Franklies. Enjoy the weekend. Little super chat contribution just because. I appreciate it, Stowstube, and I appreciate you all. All right, well, that's where I will just say, I will see you tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. It is a long week. I love weeks like this, especially now that I know that the 9 o'clock tomorrow is going to be used to be premiered on, am I going to do this? Yeah, I'll probably just do it on Rumble only again. Rumble and quitefrankly.tv, so I have something to premiere on YouTube next Friday. I think that's what we're going to have to do. Interesting. I don't know. I don't think Rumble's going to feature us tomorrow. So it makes me wonder if I should just go across the board. I guess so. And then next Friday, I'm just going to be off. If you guys are okay with that, I'll find other things to premiere that night, but yeah, maybe I'll go across all the platforms tomorrow night, 9 o'clock, just so it's easier. But I will say this before we leave. Please, if you enjoy the show, if you enjoy the things that we do and how we do it, please become a sponsor. I've got a lot of things that we've got going on and a lot of goals I'd like to hit. Not only expansion goals and staffing goals and a whole lot more, but we're planning for the future. We've got a couple of fights that are on the horizon. None that I don't think none that are unwinnable, of course. But there's just a lot happening right now. And for those of you out there who enjoy the show and never miss it, or watch most of it, or you're always in orbit, consider even becoming a $5 a month sponsor. You have no clue what a couple of hundred of you guys at $5 a month $500 a month. I mean, the Only Franks will start. It will begin. Only Franks will begin tomorrow. If a couple hundred of you come in at $500 a month, forget about it. That's it. There's so much that we're preparing for, and I just love what we're doing so much, and I feel a tremendous amount of support from you all, and I want to take the next step, and I think that the plan that we have in place right now is really going to open up some doors, and hopefully by the end of the summer we're all just kind of cruising together a little bit better, and we're taking steps instead of spinning our wheels in mud. That's what it feels like sometimes. I think the shows are great, but for some reason, and it's just part of the game, got to play it better. So I thank you all for the time, and I thank you for the support. And if you haven't become a sponsor, consider it. I'll see you tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. It'll be great. It'll be a family night. It'll be a summary kind of a mix of topics, and I'm sure we will have a good time together, one and all. All right. Good night.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Ah, yes. So you can sponsor the show at quitefrankly.tv/sponsor. All of your options are there: Patreon, Subscribe Star, or directly through quitefrankly.tv. And thank you to our sponsors for this evening. That's our super chatters: Grimbold72, Stostube, Tammy Volts, Grimbold again, John Volts, Jay Britz, Twee Girl, Domingos 2979, ST. And then, of course, all of our wonderful friends on Rumble. That is Grandma Grateful and Miss Maniac and Jay Semo, not to be outdone by our first person, Gray Son Pro. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh my gosh, we've got Cave Toad. Damn it. Cave Toad and Sentinel and Shaquille Oatmeal and the Sentinel again over there on the Pilled. This just went completely under and over my radar. I'll make sure I read these tomorrow. Hopefully either that or Monday. I'm sorry, everybody. We'll see you later. Good night.